The two biggest threats to Israel, the two most existential threats, if you will, are one, a nuclear Iran, and two, rockets raining in from Lebanon launched by Hezbollah.
We will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
I have stated that Iran will never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. It is true that if Iran lives up to its commitments, it will gain access to roughly $56 billion of its own money. Our best analysts expect the bulk of this revenue to go into spending that improves the economy and benefits the lives of the Iranian people.
Okay, that was Senator Chuck Schumer when Barack Obama was president, saying the two biggest threats to Israel are nuclear Iran and Hezbollah. And then you heard Democrats pass tough positions on Iran. It's continuing to haunt them. Joe Biden, then Barack Obama. Democrats continue to criticize President Trump here. Joining us now, GOP Florida Congressman and gubernatorial candidate, Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's great to see you again. What's your reaction to what you just heard?
My reaction is that the Democrats, once again, like to just change their opinions simply because they just want to oppose Donald Trump. They don't want to have a consistent policy when it comes to Iran and the threat that they impose, not just to Israel, but to the Middle East, and quite frankly, to most of the region going past just the Middle East, even into Europe, our allies in Europe. They would rather play politics with what's going on as opposed to doing the right thing, and that is actually standing behind the president, standing with him on this endeavor to actually bring to heel a theocratic, despotic regime that does not believe in equal rights, that does not believe in women's rights, that only believes in actually people living under the Sharia, and they believe in jihad and they believe in terrorism, which they have been fomenting on the world stage for 47 years. The Democrats don't care about common sense. They only care about political positioning. And you can see it very clearly from what Obama and Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer were saying then compared to what the Democrats are saying now.
Congressman, let's turn to communist Cuba. Cuba has its power grid suffered its first nationwide collapse since the U.S. oil blockade on Cuba. This is its third major nationwide blackout in 4 months. 11 million now without power. Let's get your reaction to Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying Cuba's in a lot of trouble. Watch.
The embargo's codified. But the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution, it's not even a revolution, that thing they have, has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
Cuba's economy doesn't work. It's been relying on subsidies from Venezuela, Russia. What do you make of the president saying yesterday he would have the honor of taking Cuba?
I support the president in that endeavor. The Cuban regime has been a communist dictatorship that has taken away liberty from Cubans who were obviously still on that island, and so many, more than 1.6 million, that fled to Florida to basically have freedom in the United States from that communist regime. It's time for them to go away. They definitely can't sustain themselves, especially now that Venezuela, that situation is under control because of the leadership of President Trump and our Secretary of State Marco Rubio. It's time for the Cuban regime to come in and try to cut a deal and find a way to live in harmony and peace. But it's not going to be with a communist dictatorship 90 miles off the coast of Florida. It's going to be with having an open society based upon individual liberty and property rights that respects the dignity of all people. That's the future for Cuba. The current regime can either negotiate or, quite frankly, they can die on the vine.
Thank you. Congressman Byron Donalds, it's great to see you again.